Good morning and welcome back to another video. I want to cover this topic again because I made a video like at the very beginnings of when I started this channel, so I want to make a fresh new one, updated, because that one is old and a bit cringe. And it is how to push through your shoulders / setting your shoulders in that ideal position, which is often described as shrugging and wrapping your lats or pushing tall through your shoulders, or I don't know, people have so many different ways of describing it. And if this is something that you struggle with in your handstand, this video is for you. A fun announcement, which if you are in Brisbane and you have been wanting to go to an in-person handstand workshop, I will be hosting my very first workshop here in Brizzy. So if you want some help, you want to learn about the foundations from someone, you want to go to an actual workshop and you want to get taught by me, you're in luck. It's happening 22nd of July. So if you're watching this video when it comes out or not long after it comes out, it's on the 22nd, it's coming up. I'm super excited. I'm working with the fabulous team at Podium at Newstead, which is where the workshop is being hosted. I will leave the link down below so you can check that out. It's a great workshop for beginners, intermediates that want to focus on their foundations and get them rock solid, because they are really the building blocks to a good handstand. And the workshop is an hour and a half. It's $80 for a ticket. Once again, you can find that link down in the description box below. For today's exercises, we are going to need a couple things. We are going to need a circle TheraBand. Doesn't matter what type, what it's made out of. This one just happens to be fabric. Also a yoga block or two if you don't have a foam roller. We can use 2 yoga blocks instead of the foam roller if you don't have that. Or a really short bench would also work. We don't want it to be too tall. Apologies for all the noises. It seems to be very loud this morning, so we're gonna persist. Hopefully my mic doesn't pick up too much of all of the background noise. Let's go. There are so many different ways that I can describe what we want to do and where we want to put our shoulders. The most common one is pushing through your shoulders, or some people say shrugging up. An old thing that I used to say to people was shrug up towards your ears. If that's a good marker for you to actually do this, but we don't want to actually cover our ears. We just want to think about that pushing up tall through our arms. And then the other thing that comes into play is our scapulars, or the rotation of our shoulders. What we are aiming to do here is we want to think about rotating those scapulars in towards us, or rotating them externally. So they're rotating this way. So from our scaps, they're coming in. I'm going to take you through some drills that will hopefully help you to isolate this feeling and to figure out what it feels like. Because this can be a really tricky thing to try and work out if you're already in a handstand. So I'm going to bring you back. We're going to do some drills to hopefully help you to isolate and work out what is happening. Let's go. The first thing that we are going to try and isolate is just that pushing motion, because sometimes people struggle with this. So we're going to start with a really nice basic drill, and then we are going to progress that. So starting off just in a box, you're just wanting to think about pushing up through that back. You can really see the visual cue of me pushing. Some people also describe this as pushing the ground away. We don't want to be saggy in our arms or in our back. We really want to think about pushing nice and strong, arms straight. So we can do little sets here of pushing up and relaxing. Pushing up and relaxing. to take this to the next level, we can come out into our plank. Make sure we're engaging our core, pushing up through our back, and we can come back to neutral. So it's almost like a hollow plank here. From there, we are then going to take it up into a A-frame position, so just up on your feet and your toes. And then we're just making sure that we're pushing up nice and tall. So here we are starting to get our body into almost that handstand shape, and so you'll feel a bit more weight going through your shoulders, and this almost mimics our handstand shape. So straightening the arms and pushing up through the shoulders. Now that we're at that A-frame position, we want to go and make sure that we are rotating those scapulars in. So we're going to jump to some other drills and then come back to this one and its progressions. So grabbing our band, and also preface, these next couple drills have come from Cirque Physio. I don't take credit for them. I have taken aspects of them and have applied them to some drills as well, and some of them are from her. So grabbing our band, we are going to put our hands inside them, going to bring our arms overhead, and for our hands we want to have them facing forward and then like lock our thumbs in on the band. Once we're in our overhead position, we want to push tall, and then from here we want to rotate the hands inwards. So this is hopefully going to help you with that body cue of rotating the shoulders inwards. Make sure you're not bending your elbows and they're nice and straight. So pushing tall, rotating inwards. In this one as well, this is also a great opportunity to make sure that your arms are going back behind you to open up those shoulders. This is closed and this is opening up your shoulders. Next up, we are going to need our foam roller. We're going to be putting that in front of us. If you don't have a foam roller for this one, you can use 2 yoga blocks next to each other. So we're going to be in our baby position. Our arms are going to be on the foam roller or yoga blocks. We want to make sure that we are pushing up through the shoulders, arms are straight, and we want to think about turning those palms to face each other. This is a great position to really just isolate those body cues and to really think about them. And add on to that drill is, if you are struggling with that external rotation, what you can do is you can grab another yoga block or your yoga block if you're using a foam roller, and you can hold it like this and then just put your elbows on the smaller box. And doing this will help you and force your arms to rotate out. So if you struggled with the last one, this one is for you. Make sure you're pushing tall through those shoulders. And coming up. For this next one, it doesn't matter if you want to stay on your yoga blocks, you can stay in that baby position, or you can come up to a slightly higher box. The most important thing is that you're not dropping your chest or having it too far up. So we're going to be doing single arm lifts, so pushing those shoulders down to the ground, creating this nice straight line from our arms to our bum. I want to think about pushing up nice and tall through our shoulders, rotating those scapulars in towards each other, or rotating your armpits in towards yourself. And then we just want to think about lifting and maintaining that rotation and that push with our arms. The great thing about this one is not only does it work on that shoulder position, but it is also working on your shoulder mobility and flexibility, which is super important for your handstand. So these next two drills are from Cirque Physio. These two are the tits of like drills for this rotation of our shoulders. I love them so much. So we're going to be doing these clam opens. So we can do that just sitting first, which is awesome. So we're going to put our band around our elbows. We're going to put our hands together at about eyesight. We want to set the TheraBand in front of our eyes. We want to think about pushing tall through the shoulders. And then we're going to try and open our hands up. Now, as you can see, I don't get very far. But these are so good. I tend to come back to this drill just to like warm up at the start of my session, to just like isolate and activate things, just to remind myself, even like as an experienced handstander, it's so important to recap on your basics or have favorite basics that you do all the time. From here is we can take it all the way over our head, or as far as we can go, and we can do the same up here. So in that position that we would be in for a handstand. As you can also see, I do not get my hands very far apart. So you might find that you don't even get your hands apart. Just thinking about that push, that resistance against the TheraBand is brilliant. What we can then do to progress this drill to another one is we can flip it into a downward dog. So same thing, except we are going to come into our downward dog. So pushing up nice and tall through your shoulders, and then we're going to just try and pull our hands apart. If you find this really hard, you can come down a little bit, like halfway in between a downward dog and a plank, to make it a bit easier. Oh, man, that one is hard. So coming back to the drills that I started with, we are now going to practice that rotation as well as that push. So we'll come back into our A-frame position, make sure our hands are hip width apart, up and our toes nice and high, pushing up through the shoulders, and then trying to rotate them in. We can then do the same thing by elevating our feet up as well. So looking down at hands hip width apart, and then pushing up nice and tall and rotating those shoulders in. And then finally, you can also try this on the wall. shoulders are cooked. Whew, my shoulders are so sore. I feel like they've worked and really turned them on. I hope if you followed along with this video that these tips helped you, these drills helped to isolate and for you to understand what that body cue is and how to set your shoulders in a handstand. And with that, if you did like this video, please give it a like because it really supports me and shows me that you like these videos, and hit that subscribe button to see more videos just like this and the little notification bell. And I will see you all next time. Bye. My dirty hands. What? So, just cover up the eye soils that are down here. Why have I never thought about doing that before?